Welcome to the 6th week of the Business Management Capstone course. I'm going to try to keep the video shorter this week since now you already know the structure of the class. So let's go ahead and jump into the module for week 6. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the assignment summary. Obviously, you should always be watching the overview video, which you currently are. The module review is read Chapter 4 and review the PowerPoint presentation for Chapter 4. And then for the assignments this week, you have the course participation, competitively important resources for companies, the Chapter 4 Learn Smart, a case study, which we have not done so far. So you have a case study on Whole Foods Market back in 2014, the Globus Simulation Year 8 report. The majority of the companies are doing fantastic. Keep it up. Keep in mind, you just don't always want to use the same style of the report. You want to mix it up. You want to keep on improving the reports, but for most part, I'm very proud of this group. Fantastic. And the Global Simulation Decisions for Year 8. Now we're getting into where you're going to find out if you're making the right decisions and if what you're choosing is working or not working. If you're not doing so well up to this point, make sure you're really applying what you're learning as you go and make the right decision for Year 8. And last but not least, we have the quiz for Chapter 4. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. You know all about the course content within each module. The course participation this week is for competitive important resources, which basically means what are the tangible and intangible resources that are important to a company. So what you're going to do is you get to choose a company and you will identify those competitively important resources, tangible and or intangible. I'll give you 2 examples for me. I'm from the west side of Cincinnati. Preso chili. Preso chili has been there forever. Type of food they serve, same kind of food they serve everywhere that you can think of for the most part. With that said, I love Preso chili. You know, I know my reasons, but without trying to give away too much information for the assignment, you really could analyze the tangible and intangible reasons why a West Sider would go to Preso chili. Now, if you're not from the West Side, you would probably say, what is he talking about? So I'll use something better. What about Starbucks? Tons of people go to Starbucks. I've been to Starbucks. I drink coffee. When it comes to Starbucks, I will share my opinion. It is truly overpriced coffee. I think it's good, but is it worth the cost? No. So why do people go there? Then again, I'm not going to give you that answer because that ties into the assignment. Is it the tangible or is it more intangible? So I would point you in the Starbucks situation more intangible. It's tangible. The coffee, yeah, it's good, but there's more than that people are paying for overpriced coffee. Just kind of give you, an idea of what I'm looking for here. So not only do you have to list, is it tangible, intangible, and what those are, you have to explain why you chose them. So you can't just list because the coffee's great. Well, what else to it? Okay, what makes it the best coffee? What proof do you have it's the best coffee? Or what intangibles? What relationships have they created that why people choose Starbucks over other places? So step 2 of the assignment obviously is review the posts of your peers. And step 3 is provide a comment on at least 2 other posts. The replies must be engaging and meaningful. Like I said about the yearly reports, most of you are doing a great job. Same with these discussion boards, the course participation assignments. Now with that said, there are a few of you are just saying great job, way to go. That's not a comment that I'm looking for. That's not engaging. That's not meaningful. That really doesn't show me that you read the post or not. So for just those minor few, make sure you are actually providing a meaningful and engaging comment, or I will begin to deduct more points because of that. But like I said, for most of you, great job and keep it up. So let me go ahead and scroll down. This is the same format we had the Learn Smart for Chapter 4. You're used to that. The quiz, you're used to that. The new one is the case study. Okay, so here's another new assignment. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the semester. It's easy the first few weeks because all we did is focus on Globus. Then we started doing Globus and the McGraw-Hill Connect assignments. Now we're adding another McGraw-Hill Connect assignment along with the Globus assignments. It's going to seem like a lot of work. Keep in mind, as I promised, it all evens out. It wasn't that heavy at the beginning. It will seem more challenging now, and then it will start tailing off at the end. I definitely took that into account. I'm not giving you crazy amount of work outside what, the credit hours of the courses, but it will become challenging to you. With that said, last semester there wasn't hardly anyone that had an issue with completing the case study. Just time consuming, but you should be okay. And if I go ahead and move down, of course, we have the Year 8 report. Like I said before, a lot of you are it's fantastic. I'm at a loss of words. I even put in some of your comments that some of the best Year 6 reports I've ever seen. So you're already ahead of the game. I mean, your Year 6 reports are looking like Year 10 reports to me, some of you. And I made that comment, so you know who you are. So great job, beautiful cover page. The content obviously addresses all the topics for the report. You might have included graphs, charts, data to support your information. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I made a comment to each and every one of you, so there shouldn't be any guesswork what I'm looking for. I've been very easy on the grading initially because I want you to get a feel for the report, because I did not get examples intentionally. So I've been easy on the grading, but now it's going to start tightening up because now you know what I'm looking for. All right. With that said, most of you are definitely on your way. And some teams who have 3 who feel like this is overwhelming, keep in mind there are some companies with teams of 2 that are knocking out a ballpark. Matter of fact, last semester I had 2 teams of 2 and they outperformed all the other teams. So keep that in mind. If you're a team of 3 and you feel like you're overwhelmed and you don't know how you're going to be able to do all this work, there's within your group, within your class, there are teams of 2 that are crushing it. So there really should be any excuses. But with that said, if I had to give it a ballpark percentage, I'd say a good 75% of y'all are just doing fantastic. So keep that up. And then last but not least, we have the Year 8 decisions. The reason why I say last is, if it was my preference, I would complete the Year 8 report first and then do the decisions. Now, this is just my preference. You don't have to do this that way, because the report gives you a chance to analyze what you're going to do for the decisions. Now, you don't have to view it that way. You could do your decisions and then basically say, okay, well, my decisions will dictate what I put in a report. That's fine too. I'm just saying my preference the report would really help me analyze what I'm going to be up to for the Year 8 decisions. So real quickly, I know I touched on the video at the very beginning of the course, but under course content, obviously I have the weekly modules, I have the discussion board shortcut, the global shortcut, Learn Smart, quizzes, and cases. So I always want you to at least go one time into the weekly module to make sure you're getting all the information, know exactly what you should be working on. But then after that, you can use these shortcuts to get to the assignments. That's what they're there for, so you don't have to keep on digging through the weekly module. 2 I want to point out. First one will be the quizzes. Okay, so once you access the quizzes, as you can see, you have additional information about the quiz. Obviously, like this one says it's a chapter quiz. There can be multiple choice, true and false questions. Time limit is 50. Once the test has been started, it must be completed in the same sitting, and it even gives the due date. So just more general information about the assignment. So now if I go back up and select cases, and the case we'll be completing will be the Whole Foods one. It gives you some information about it. It states, before beginning this exercise, you will need to read the Whole Foods market case, which is in the e-text. It will also be helpful to review the tools and concepts in chapters 1 through 5. All right, so keep that in mind. You want to go ahead and review chapters 1 through 5. We're only covering up to 4 this week. And you say, well, what about 5 then? Well, 5, just at least basically, briefly review it. You don't have to read the entire chapter, but it might be helpful to complete this case study. With that said, like I said, I didn't have any students have an issue with completing the Whole Foods case study last semester. So it tells you there are 4 sections within the case study. Each section of the questions are worth 25 points. They can be multiple choice or true and false questions. Total points is 100, and you will be given 2 attempts to complete the assignment. So you have 2 attempts just in case something goes wrong the first time. Just getting used to the case studies. So multiple chances, so really shouldn't be an issue. But great information within there. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into Globus to look at the results from year 7.
Here we have the year 7 scoreboard. As you can see, Team E is leading in charge with a weighted average score of 107. If you look over to the right-hand side of that score, you see the change from year 6 to year 7 is a plus 10 change. The reason why I really want to point that out is to show the other teams, such as Team G, C, and B, who are doing just fine in the 90s, that if they have a good year, they can easily catch up to the first place team. They can gain 10, 15, 20. I've seen upwards of 25-point change in 1 year. So I would say right now, everyone is within striking range of first place. Even Team B, who is at 94, that's not that far away. A couple good years and maybe a bad year from Team E or F or A, they could leapfrog them. So I want to make sure that you know that I feel confident as of this point that everyone is getting a feel for the simulation and the competition they're up against. As you know, if you watched the previous videos, I did not say that about the practice rounds. We did have issues where clearly I felt like one team had no clue. Now, with that said, and I won't mention, well, actually, I guess if you watch the video, you know it was Team G. With that said, Team G is doing fantastic after the practice rounds. And you say, well, why would you state that they're at 5th place? Well, they're at weighted average score of 96. Before they were, I think, below 30. So they had a tremendous turnaround. Clearly, they're doing a great job. And I would believe that they will definitely compete for the top spot here in the next few weeks. Just like I believe so far that all of you still can. The key is to communicate with your team members as much as possible about the decisions and what you feel like that's working and what's not working, and giving every team member an opportunity to try different decisions, even if maybe the other ones don't believe it's correct. It's a team effort here, so you have to take chances. You have to hear everyone's voice when it comes to these decisions. Technically they could make them anyway without telling you. Now, of course, that would not be good if they did that. But it's just, we want this to be team driven. So now if we look to game to date, we have company F at 108 with a bonus point, company E at 107, company A at 102, so on and so forth, all the way down to company B at 96. Then again, a very close race. Even company B got a bonus point. Now, if you say to yourself, well, how do I get a bonus point? I'd say, well, if you look at the top right hand of the screen, you can see where it's help. You can click the help button and it details out how do you achieve a bonus point. Down at the bottom here, and which I will scroll, if you're not for sure what the investor expectation score, best in industry score, or weighted average score, what that all is, well, there's the definition of each one. And of course, there's more details within the manual of the breakdown of the different categories. So please don't hesitate to review that information, and by now leaning on your team members, because they may already know exactly what it stands for in a breakdown. Okay, so normally from here I start going over earnings per share, return on equity, stock price, credit rating, image rating, all that. The reason why I'm not is, number one, everyone met expectation. I don't believe I missed any of the screens, but I'm almost sure every company did. But so what your question would be like, well, if I met expectations, why isn't my score higher? Well, keep in mind, it's competition. So the better company F does, the worse you may do, or company E or company A. So it's definitely driven by competition, how well they're doing. So clearly they met expectations also. They just did a better job and exceeded expectations. So you need to definitely dig through these screens. Another one that I will open, though, is the intelligence report screen. And keep in mind, there's 4 regions, not just North America. You really need to look at this screen. This has a lot of valuable information. It's killing me not to point some of it out right now. I'm so eager to, but it would be unfair to some of the teams who are working hard It would be basically me just giving away the strategy to the whole class, which I don't want to do. But I at least want to bring to your attention that yes, you want to look at earnings per share, return on equity, stock price, credit rating, image rating, but you definitely want to look at this screen. You definitely want to look at price, discount, warranty, all of that, market share, who's got the most market share, so on and so forth. So, but I'll stop there because I'm afraid I'll start giving things away, and I don't want to do that. I know everyone is working extremely hard this semester. This is only a 10-week course, and I want the best of the best at the end of the semester to show who that is. And I look forward to each year that passes by to look at that scoreboard and see how each team is doing. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Have a great week.